YouTooz are pretty bad. Oh, but what the hell is a YouTooz? Well, I'm so glad you asked. Basically, YouTooz are limited edition figurines that come out pretty frequently and are quote-unquote high quality. So what makes YouTooz so special? Well, it's the fact that they don't sell any normal figurines, my friend. They sell figurines of YouTubers and memes. You know, like Pepe, Doge, Swagger Souls, Fitz, CallMeCarson, Quackity, Elvis the Alien, Pyrocynical, Flamingo, Pokimane, Jesus H. Cross. Because of this, YouTooz has exploded in popularity, and at the time of recording this, YouTooz has over
141
YouTooz available, and also
16
coming soon. But that doesn't mean that there isn't actually any problems with YouTooz. In fact, far from it. There's a lot of problems I have with these figures, and it seems like nobody is talking about this when I feel like they kinda should be. So enough yipping and yapping, let's get into the video.
Wait, what's the point in jellyfish, like realistically?
My first and also my biggest problem with YouTooz has to be the price point. Each separate figure is $30, and for figures that are normally 4 inches on average, that's a lot of money.
Oh, but Thernos, it's free worldwide shipping.
That is a fair point you got there, little Timmy. So, let's say that the shipping is around $10, then that's still $20, which may seem like a good deal, but it really isn't because of the abysmal quality of these figures. Now, I can already see you little nerds typing in your little keyboard saying, well, actually, Thernos, these figures are made of super high quality vinyl, when in reality, no they're not. Most of the YouTubers that promote these figures say that they're super high quality while they proceed to throw it on the ground or something like that. And you know what? It's true, they can withstand the ground once, and then they're broken. Things just break off way too easily. Like, you drop this thing once or twice and you're done. One of the pieces are gonna be broke off because there's so many flimsy little pieces that they put on these figures. Most of the figures just have a lot of imperfections, and even the newer ones have these types of problems. In fact, one of my figures even came broken right out of the box. I mean, come on, YouTooz. How is he gonna wipe when he's on the jog? All jokes aside, I think I stand for everyone when I say that things like this should not be happening with super high quality vinyl figures. Oh, and don't even get me started on the miscoloring. And it's not just a couple of unlucky people who get these types of mistakes. A lot of people get batches of YouTooz figures that all have these mistakes. Granted, you can return the YouTooz and get it fixed for free, but these mistakes shouldn't even be happening in the first place. Also, I hope you like hollow figurines, because that's basically what most of these figures are. They are hollow. You can literally squeeze them and make dents in them. That's how bad these are. The thing is, this is more of a recent problem though. Like, some figures back then, back in October, never had this problem, so I don't know why it's happening now. Maybe it's so that they can cut cost on making figures, but other than that, I don't really know why. Like I said earlier, YouTooz are released pretty frequently. New batches of figures are released every week, which may sound cool until you take into factor that each figure is 30 bucks. Maybe this wouldn't be such a problem if they wouldn't release 5 figures at a time. It basically makes it impossible to collect these figures because since they release so many at a time, you really can't save up enough money to buy them all. And since they go out of stock so fast, this can be a really annoying problem. And this can be especially annoying if they release the special group collectors items. What I mean by this is that sometimes they'll release a batch of figures that all coincide in one specific theme, whether it be the Dude Perfect, the Sidemen, Lunch Club, or something similar to that. And what they do is they release like 6 figures, and if you buy all of the figures, which keep in mind is like $200, you get a really shitty prize. And like I said earlier, it's really hard to actually collect all these figures because they release them all at the same time and they end up selling out really quickly. And if one goes out of stock, then you won't be able to get the prizes ever, and that sucks. And the prizes themselves aren't even that cool. They range from a basketball, which is literally just a white basketball with the logo, to a rug. A rug. And the rug isn't even a big rug, it's the size of a beanbag at best. So unless you think that basketballs and rugs are worth almost $200, then hey, you can try and get all the figures, but if I were you, I wouldn't even try and just get the ones that I personally like. Also, I know this is kind of subjective, but why is there so much Flamingo stuff? I'm completely fine with the whole second version of figures that they've been making recently. Well, except these figures. Oh, you thought this was like a smoochy situation where 1 out of 4 unspeakables are a crazy version? No, these are 2 separate figures, both at $30. I mean, come on, YouTooz, that's just so greedy. That's unimaginable. I guess you could say that it's unspeakable.
You have been banned from the Mickey Mouse Club.
But there's just so much Flamingo stuff. You have the regular Flamingo figurine, then you also have the Farmer Flamingo, and you know, that's perfectly fine, but for some reason they decided to make 2 Flamingo plushes. Keep in mind that this is YouTooz' first plush that they've ever made, and they make it of Flamingo. Is there really no other YouTuber that you could have made it of? Like, I'm sure if you made it of somebody like CallMeCarson, Swagger Souls, or just any other popular YouTuber, it would have been better than this. Flamingo is just such a weird option for this. I mean, Flamingo is just objectively a bad YouTuber, but whatever, it's really not that big a deal. I haven't really talked about the way the models actually look because they're just kind of fine, you know? Unlike the Funko Pop figures, YouTooz isn't limited to a certain type of mold, so they can be a lot more creative with the way they make their YouTooz. Obviously, that doesn't mean that all of them look good. Yeah. But a large majority of them do.
Dude, that's a badass contract.
Now, truth be told, this incident actually happened a little bit ago, but since this is a video about YouTooz, I kind of feel like I have to bring it up. Sometime around November, Raccoon Eggs and his friend Toomad were doing a CSGO livestream when somebody brought up the topic of YouTooz, and Raccoon Eggs had this to say.
I hate him too, but like that's why I was like, when it started out, I was like, oh wait, only like 3 YouTubers have it so far, dude. I'm totally gonna get one. But then when I saw everybody getting one, I was like, fuck, I'm not special anymore. China's pumping these bitches out like it's nothing. I thought that it took time, you know, to create them, but nope.
No.
We're getting what?
The YouTooz, the fucking toys.
They asked me like 3 times to do one, and they shot out a design in like a few hours, I think.
They're just making bank, dude. I'm not even gonna promote it because they made me sign a contract on how to promote it. Suck my dick. I'm a YouTuber, okay? I get free pass.
I think they'll just revoke it from the store if you don't follow the terms of the contract.
No, they won't because they have to sell them.
Yeah, you think they would just keep it up? Because the thing is, like, they did that same shit for me. They're like, if you want to do this, you would have to promote it all over your fucking YouTube and Twitter. And I'm like, oh yeah, believe me, I know. I've seen that fucking ads for it. They're annoying as shit.
Now, I guess I can kind of see the problem here. Promoting the hell out of something on your social medias can be annoying, but I really don't see what the huge issue is here. You know, from what I've seen, YouTubers seem to only promote it once or twice, and that's it. They just move on from it. This definitely depicts YouTooz as very desperate, and to be honest, they kind of are, because it got to a point where Raccoon Eggs let them make the YouTooz that they want, but he just agreed to not promote it, and they actually agreed to that. In fact, they even made 2 Raccoon Eggs YouTooz.
I asked him about YouTooz and his deal with that. He asked him
his opinion on that. This is his wording. I don't give two shits what they do. They emailed me and said I don't have to advertise them. And he said, fuck it, go ahead. I don't care. He didn't even know a V2 was coming.
Huh. He didn't read the contract.
He didn't know until I said something about it.
That's really interesting.
And he said he gets zero royalties. He doesn't care what they do because he doesn't have to advertise. So it's none of his business. So
That's
basically,
really
YouTooz has all the creative freedom to do what they want with raccoon eggs.
Dude, that's a badass contract. I wish I was in their shoes.
So in conclusion, YouTooz are cheaply made, expensive, and useless collectibles that take too long to ship and come out way too frequently. Listen, there's nothing wrong with wanting to get YouTooz. In fact, the idea of YouTuber figurines is honestly a really cool and unique idea, and I'm glad that it exists, but with all of the problems that I've mentioned, it makes it a lot less cool. Maybe if the execution of this all was better and they fixed these problems in the future, then I'd say it's worth it to try and get these figures, but until then, I wouldn't recommend getting these. Before I end the video, I just want to mention that they have an Arthur YouTooz, and they're working on a duck song YouTooz. Why?